Viewers, a very warm welcome to you from the world's capital city, and we're reaching you live from our SRTV studio here in London. This is Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Princess Kessie, and I have with me, as usual,
But the Chris is here.
and we are going to be hooking up to Abuja right away because we have Kenneth and Mary standing by already. Good morning.
Good morning, ma. Good morning, sir.
You guys are looking like white people. What's going on?
Good morning, London. How you guys doing?
Okay, well, you guys look like white guys. Wow.
It's the way.
All right.
But there's a lot coming from the news this morning. We have quite a lot on our headlines this morning, and um, we're seeing that activities are in place to kickstart ahead of the Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imopus. And we can see that the security are on top of it already. Of course, a lot of people are warming up for that election already. We do hope that everything will go well as planned for them. And of course, we have presidency and Obi is at war again over Obi's comments and stance on the Supreme Court verdict. These are some of the issues we'll be looking at today during the program. And it's quite worrisome that INEC is complaining that a lot of people did not register to vote. Even the ones that registered, they're yet to, I don't know, the numbers are not encouraging. And maybe this is something we should talk about later, at the maybe before we wrap up the show, because sometimes people don't want to vote; they just want to sit and criticize. And when they have the opportunity to vote, to make a difference, they are not willing to. Apparently, that saying in Nigeria, "My vote will not count." This is what we'll be looking
Yeah,
at.
but that is a true saying. If people vote and they are not discouraged, if the drama that played during the last election continues to play, voters' appetite will definitely diminish. I think that is what we're going through. We have to encourage them to go out and vote. If you don't vote, it will still be recorded. It is better you go and vote and actually stand there to defend the vote. The question is, I think the next question is, how do we defend our votes? It's not about not going to vote. Please go and vote, but try and defend it. And that becomes something we all can do.
Another question should be: can we defend it?
Yes, I think we can. We can. If how many people? But the truth is, if Nigerians were caught unaware in the last election, because we're hoping that there will be transmission of results. Now we know, so we know what we're up against. We'll be telling, count it now, announce it here. Everybody will begin to take record. You understand? And that things will be different. We were not aware. We didn't know that the
But I
so-called
think this
electronic
election,
transfer will not work.
I think something that will happen in this election, but yet everything is still the same. Because I know that some people monitor some polling center and all of that, but at the end of the day, the result came out.
We
And
want to send Kenneth to go and monitor some of the polling center in Abuja so that he knows if his government is doing well or not. Because Kenneth, I know you'll be able to defend them. That INEC is doing a great job. I know. INEC is doing a wonderful job.
That agree. We just. I really didn't want to say much on this because it's gonna look like as if I'm being a partisan. But the truth is, as much as there's election going on in Kogi, people should become realistic with expectations when it comes to elections. I think most Nigerians have fallen under the narrative of social media, where it's been portrayed that the ruling party is against free and fair elections. But we can always agree that even with the Electoral Amendment Act we have today came under the APC. There were days when the PDP used to be in power when, of course, there used to be election going on in the East, and then there would be a certain Morrissey who calling results in Abuja already. We need to also commend them for,
It was not APC. It was the last. In fact, but what did they do with it?
No,
At the end of the day, what did we get?
But that should tell you the
right direction.
roots
Eh?
will have come up so far politically. Now, like
I
you said,
agree. We've done well. We've done well. At least expectations are higher. Voter sensitization is higher. Everybody's now more aware. And the more we are aware, the more they cannot play with our votes. But that's not to say they did well in the last election. We pray
and the more we are aware, the more we also begin to see the truth. that, of course, the party that has won the election will always win the election.
But even if you see the truth, can you change it?
No, the truth is that APC will win the election in Kogi. That is the truth that we know, because they have the ground, they have everything. Don't mind what you read on the papers. The papers will always throw the narrative to sell. At the end of the day, when you go to the grassroots, you see the people that play the politics at the grassroots. Not just
Well, I'm not a big fan of Dino, but I don't think between Dino and your former governor there, the youngest governor that turned out to be the most shameful one. What is his name now? Yaya Bello. You're proud of Yaya Bello. We say youth in government. He's the youngest, and look at what he did.
But he's done well compared to.
Very well. Okay, let's clap for Yaya Bello, because that's why
compared to previous administrations in Kogi State, there is no way you can rate them with Yahaya Bello. See, that's the truth. That's the truth. Right. But we need to also understand that Kogi, of course, is one of the biggest states in Nigeria with very meager resources. So for me, I think he didn't do well in the aspect of internally generated revenue, because there was a lot that could have been gotten from Kogi: tourism, minerals, solid minerals, and the rest that he did not harness on. But looking at the revenue, that's always what we use in judging politics in Nigeria these days. We look at how much has come into the state, what are the projects we can see. If you judge through that benchmark, the young man might have even done much more better than other people that's been there before.
Now, anyway, I know he did something strange during the COVID. He said they should not bring in COVID nonsense to Kogi State. That's leadership. For me, I was just looking at him, meaning he knew what he was doing at that time. I don't know whether it was the right decision, but he was firm. I like him only there. But then he turned out to be one of the nuisance, He's a nuisance, running for president like a nuisance. All these political nuisance, they just want to, I call them political nuisance. We have many in Delta State too. All right.
Anyway, we'll move on quickly with the reviews, and I'm going to start with the Punch newspaper. And these are some of the stories we have. Off-season polls. Military police vow tough action for ballot box snatchers, others. And the security chiefs warn hoodlums. 67,000 policemen for Kogi Bayelsa governorship elections. IG orders tough security at coalition centers. FG vast transparency. Saraki demands fairness. All the stories on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. As well, there is a story here that says soldiers in show of force. Patrol Kogi Bayelsa flashpoints. You can see the picture there. Armies, police are already everywhere across town in Kogi and Bayelsa ahead of the election. And there's a story here that says U.S. Security Advisory needless, discourages investors. This is coming from federal government, and that story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. There's a story here that says 4.3 trillion lost to oil theft in 5 years, and that is coming from the government. And that story is on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says INEC delays trials of 197 electoral offenders, and that story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. There's a story here that says court rejects Akeredelu's lawmaker's suit against Aye Datiwa on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says the Lagos splashes BRT fares by 20% after passengers outcry. And that story is on page 6 of the Punch newspaper. There's a story here that says to die in Canada, embassy fire, Tinubu malls. These are all the stories we have coming from the Punch, and we could already see the main headline here is security talking tough ahead of that election, and we know that this is always have been a custom before election, is not new, but I don't know whether we should Kenneth, let me ask you this. I was supposed to have somebody on the show, but I thought I already had a guest, so I had to put him on hold from Kogi exactly. A PDP stalwart in Kogi and APC as well. So I wanted to ask what are some of the things we should be expecting from this election. Do you think with what we've seen from the presidential general election, there are going to be changes, or that would have strengthened our electoral process But I got your response last night, and I'm going to bring them on my show within the week before the election as well, from Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo. But Kenneth, do you think, from what we have seen so far from the electoral, what happened during the election, taking down the tribunals and the Supreme Court verdict, do you think that would make and bring any changes as to what we should be expecting in this election that is upcoming?
I think this election is really going to be tricky. As a party man, I might want to say we'll have it, but the truth is an open one. When you look at the people on ballot, we have Edino Melaye. Of course, Dino has been here and been there. And of course, I can't even place where he is now until when he loses the election, then we can know where he is. For now, he's there in the PDP. But I think the big thing there is that with Natasha, with Senator Natasha's victory at court, there's this penchant for belief between most people that under the renewed hope agenda, there's going to be a very, 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 very free and fair election, especially in Kogi State and Imo State. The reason for this is, the clamor for people has been that the election has not been transparent and the rest. So I think the president might want to leverage on the ones coming on under him to say, okay, you see, we've been doing this free, fair, more transparent than anyone could have imagined. But let us also forget that this is a sitting governor who has successfully put his own candidate there. No matter how, we might want to throw it, it's politics for you. But this is a governor with the nickname of the White Lion. Of course, you know that the White Lion is a red lion, and a White Lion fights crazy. So you're not going to expect Yahaya Bello to sit back at his house and allow Dino Melaye take this. Of course, Dino Melaye has a way with bragging rights. If Dino Melaye wins this election, I'm sorry for Yahaya Bello, because even without any other thing,
You go on that side.
the words that will come from Dino's mouth, the music that will be released, the songs that he will sing, might
know.
for the rest of his life. So we are going to see a very, very fierce election. But the truth is, no matter how you want to look at the elections in Nigeria now, there is a BVAS system. That means it is only accredited people that will be recorded. We've seen even that happen with Natasha's victory at the tribunal. That over and again, if you win election in Nigeria through irregularities, there are ways you could be, eased out of office. So we're going to see an election that will be more of grassroots. And that's where the trick comes in now.
Kenneth Holden. There is one headline here that says INEC delays trial of 197 electoral offenders. Because you're saying there should be, if somebody does what is not right, there should be, measures. Now, we're seeing that I was going to ask you this as well. Do you think such cases should be delayed as a lawyer?
Well, you see, Princess, I might be a lawyer, but I'm also a realist. When it comes to election cases, especially in Nigeria, it is the more of political, scheming behind before you even talk about conviction. The guys that committed these electoral, offenses, they have people they worked for. They did not just wake up and then they go commit these crimes. I am not for them. What I'm saying is that the people who they did those dirty jobs for will always want to fight for them. They will go through every means to make sure that, we keep having adjournment. When it looks like the public is losing interest, you see them released on fundamental human grounds, probably lack of evidence in any way or the other. The case could be thrown out. But if they will follow the template, of course, you know that Muhammad Buhari, during his first tenure, no matter how you want to criticize the man, electoral offenders really had a rough from him. Many electoral offenders ended up in prison. So I'm not of the opinion that this could be done now. We might see more adjournment because for me, there's a lot going behind us before it comes to conviction of electoral cases. Yes, the law is clear and concise when it comes to the electoral act and messing things up during the election, snatching of ballot boxes, circumventing electoral processes. But before you even talk about pushing it to the public prosecutor's office to get these cases served in court and get justice for the people, I think a lot of politics will be played behind. The only people you see might get convicted are those that, of course, their people lost that. That's the truth of the matter.
What
Okay,
a shame. Anyway,
and and
It is shame, but that's Nigeria, sir. We have to accept it the way it is.
we wait and see what happens that day. We just hope that everything we go as planned. And we move on quickly to the next newspaper. That will be the Guardian newspaper, and Mary will be taking that paper.
Okay, and here the big headline here says less than 30% of registered voters will decide Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi polls. You can find that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And here we have another headline that says drawbacks of dollarization of the Nigeria economy. I'll find that story on page 12 of the Guardian newspaper. And here another headline says Nigeria needs $7.6 billion to restore oil production to 2.1 MPD by 2025. You can find that story on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. And here another rider says terrorists attack Malud procession in Castina, kill 30, injure, kidnap others. You can find that story on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. And here another rider says US government travel advisory hurtful to Nigeria economy, says federal government. You can find that story on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. And here another story says Obi hints at recontesting in 2027, canvasses rotational 5-year single term for president. You can find that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. I think these are all the story we have on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Okay, so another headline says courts confirms authenticity of Enugu government NYSC certificate. You can find that story on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. These are all the story we have this morning.
Kenneth, I want us to look at this headline. Although that's the issue I want us to even discuss later. This is worrisome to know that just 30% of registered voters will decide Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi. So where are the other 70%? It's quite disheartening. And tomorrow you see that something happened. Nigerians will come and start ranting, talking down. But like Daddy Chris said, maybe there's something that has actually, when people are not tired, when like the last election I monitored, I noticed that people actually came out, they believe that their voices will be heard, and some believe that actually their voices were heard. Other of the opinion that it's the same as usual, what we are used to before now. And what do you make of this? 30% to decide Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi.
Well, I think it's a shame, and it's a shame in the sense that he also portrays the thing I keep saying. When there is insecurity in the land, it is the ruling party or the ruling government or the person in power that will always benefit the most. This is peculiar, especially to Imo State. I'm from Imo and I keep talking about it. I might be of the APC, but the insecurity in Imo will be the reason why most people will not vote in Imo State. Nothing else. One of the reasons why, even myself, I will not want to travel and vote is because I'm not even sure if I'd vote, if I could come back alive again. I don't know who is.
But that is for Imo. Let's look at Bayelsa and Kogi states.
Well, when you want to look at the other Bayelsa, Kogi, it's almost the same thing. In the southern part of Nigeria, there is a massive insecurity in the sense that when it comes to voting, people are scared of exercising their franchise for victimization, for witch hunting, political witch hunting, of course. Also, looking at the, trying to stay neutral, to just look good. I think that's one of the reasons we don't see people vote. It's not really even about the votes not counting like most people insinuate in some quarters. This is about political alignment. You come to some communities, people don't want to vote, but there are people there, they have the voters card, and they've turned it only to their, verification card in some cases. They just go to bank with it. So for me, it is bad. no matter my political affiliations, I will condemn it. I believe when there is a large number of voting, we begin to see the true, mind of the people about who they want to vote in power, regardless of who wins. We begin to see the political language or ideology of a people. We begin to see that everybody is voting this particular candidate because this is what they think. So for me, it is not good. It is a big shame that in a country like Nigeria, 30% will decide for the remaining 70% that will not vote. It's appalling. It's appalling.
So,
appalling.
the thing that worries me here is we're taking it as we blame it on security. All right. The people don't want to come out and vote because they're scared. Is that the case?
But that's just the truth.
That's
I
exactly
worked during the election
is
last.
happening.
I worked during the election.
Come on. You know,
And
and at the end of the day, we are all dying. The same people that said they cannot vote are suffering. And now it's time for them to vote. They are afraid, but they're dead anyway. So the question is why? I think it's about awareness. You understand? More of awareness, because everybody's gonna. I don't think everybody is really that scared in Nigeria not to come out and vote.
I think
Maybe it's carelessness, or maybe they believe that the vote will not count. Maybe that they've done it. You see, and that is what I use the word that sometimes it becomes the decision we make. Oh, if I vote, it's not going to count anyway. That becomes the decision you make, and it's the wrong one. That is my worry. You understand? I don't think it's one security problem. I just believe that they've already made up their mind. Oh. I know now they've already done it. You understand? And that becomes the decision we make. You understand? If security, Nigerians, I don't understand. Kenneth, you once saying the last time that how can there be insecurity in your village? Who are the insecure people in the voting is happening in your village? Oh. The good thing about Nigeria, you are asked to go to your locality and vote.
Yeah.
So you say now because of one fear of somebody in my village, I will not come out on that day and vote.
Let's not talk about just insecurity locally. Sometimes people travel and they are not able to get to their destination as regards insecurity.
Exactly.
So yesterday, somebody called me that the brother was going from Delta State to the north to get goods, and within Oka and Enugu, he was kidnapped.
Exactly.
The account has been withdrawn, and they are still demanding for 12 million, which the family has never seen all their lives. And so it's not about just going to your
So
village.
it's not about the poll. That is not about the poll alone. There's insecurity in the country.
the issue is security now. Is it security
So
we're talking about?
when this insecurity now, it's not because if you come out of vote, that is the day they're going to kill you. So whether you go and vote today, because of insecurity, or the insecurity is waiting for you anyway, maybe that is the more reason they should come out and vote. Because now the person that was traveling to Oka, he didn't get kidnapped because he was going to vote. You will be kidnapped in Nigeria no matter what you do. So, in fact, I said I think Nigeria should be angry. I don't understand.
I think the best thing they would have done is that you can vote from anywhere you are.
Anywhere you are.
Now you're talking, princess.
Going across states, people don't have the resources. The economy is quite down. Somebody that's not eating for how many days, you tell them to use their money
I agree with that.
to go somewhere and vote, and they come back when they don't even know. We're talking about accidents on daily basis, insecurity, and then
That makes
economy.
sense.
These are some of the issues we should be looking at
I
as
agree,
well.
I agree with that completely. And perhaps that's what I keep saying. If Nigerians can use your ATM card, I don't know whether somebody can actually use your ATM card. You know, the BVN is working, the NIN is for me, it's working. If we have that, what is the point traveling again? Why don't we have a place where you just go there, slot in your thing and vote? Because the next, it should be electronics anyway. This accreditation rubbish. In fact, if somebody see the thing is that can somebody use your card? He can use your card, but he cannot use you, to withdraw money.
Yeah.
I understand that system is working. Somebody cannot just go to your account now and withdraw money. Why don't we use the same method in our voting? Why, like President said, why do we have to travel that far in the name of voting and get ourselves kidnapped and all that? When I see this show of shame, that's why Petitioner brought it out. You see these beautiful people parading, spending billions of money in the name of securing votes. And yet the story we're hearing now is we are insecure. Should we clap for Tinubu?
Well, Tinubu has been 6 months or thereabout in governance. Are we going to blame him for the inefficiencies of the General Buhari's administration? The man is trying to rejig the country again. He's trying to reboot the country.
I'm happy they are the same APC, Ken.
Well, they could be of the same APC, but their ideologies are quite different, if you agree with me.
Let's see what Tinubu will do with regard to securing our election. Because you guys are complaining. The thing I don't understand is, when they say insecurity, Ken, it baffles me because I don't think if I'm in my village now, I'm going to be afraid to come out and vote today. Because I'm more likely to be kidnapped when I'm traveling. Like Princess said, that you are in your village and you are kidnapped. You are in Abuja, you don't get kidnapped. People still move around now. You understand? The truth is, Nigerians are not hungry enough right now. Maybe the way you guys treated Nigerians during the last election, they are so disoriented right now with the system.
No, sir. I beg to differ on that. You see, let us even accept the fact that when it comes to polls in Nigeria, the average Nigerian has been, wired to think that the most important poll is the presidential election. With the way the election circles in Nigeria, whenever it's a presidential election, everybody is interested. Even the old men in the village, they want to know who is the president. But when it gets to state elections, now there is a politics of, this is my brother, this one I will not vote, this one is from my tribe, this one. So you begin to see voter apathy cut across the states. So for me, it's not just about insecurity, but I hint on insecurity because that is the easiest excuse anyone can give for not voting. If you ask them why you're not voting, they'll say, you want to go there, they will shoot you. Because it happens. Most times, I don't even think it is the person in power that wants insecurity to happen. But because it's already happening and it benefits them the most when elections come, look at what you're talking about, 30%. First of all, we don't even have a high number of registered voters in this state. If these states have 1 million people, I can assure you, people registered already are not even up to 600,000 to vote. And then you're still having about 30%. So you see, it's not easy for the politics of money, politics of vote buying, politics of alignment to work faster when you have this smaller number of people voting. I don't know if you understand what I'm going for. So it's easy for people in power to win elections when a lower number of people turn up for it. But for me, I don't really think it's just only about insecurity, like I said earlier. It's also about, like you said, the urge. But it's not even about the process. It's about the people they are putting in power. Most people will say, it's governorship election. The average Nigerian has not even come to understand the enormous power their governors yield. Now you're talking about governorship. Have you ever seen a local government election happen in Nigeria, sir? It is the most laughable thing you can witness.
It is, I agree.
Go for a local government election, if you're an observer, you could even ask yourself, is this a village youth president that is being elected? In fact, in most cases, village youth presidency is more contested than local government election. You come there, they just say, who did they vote for? They will even ask you, who did they vote for? I beg you, no vote for that party. Now we get this local government. You begin to say things like nobody's even interested in coming. So for me, orientation plays a big role, not in the sense of the institution that will make sure that the election happens. It's about the people to even see reason to vote when it comes to state elections. Most time we don't see the reason for doing for that.
Again, you said something big. That one is the part I want to really hold on. Everybody is interested in the presidency. What about your governor?
Yeah.
What about your governor? In fact, like you said, the local government, it does not even exist. You understand? If they want to do local government election, no. In fact, it does not exist. You understand? They select the selectocracy. That is where they don't pick the ones they're going to pick. And the governors are actually, in fact, if the problem of Nigeria is actually our governors. Because now, look at it, once they become governor, they handpick their local government chairman. You can hardly see a state where a governor is APC and the local government are divided. It's not going to happen.
It can never happen. Never.
And once the party change, the thing change. If they say that, that's how they think, the people think, come on, man, these guys again, it's about our awareness. Maybe this is the right time, really, maybe they should not be doing the election together. Maybe we should do 2 years presidency, you understand? In between, we have the governor, so that the emphasis, because last time they just finished, they did the president and the governor at the same time. Maybe if we have that time to sensitize the people that this is not about your president alone. No. If your governor is not doing well, you are in the bigger mess. Because there's no state that doesn't get the allocation from the president, from the central. So we know that it's not the right thing to do, but what the one you got, really, what are you doing with it? And the people are not aware anymore. They don't hold Yaya Bello. You said they're going to clap for Yaya Bello, clap for Odwa, Okowa, and all of them from my state. You understand? They are good governors, you know. And they became village chiefs. They give them titles at the end for ruining the economy. And that has been our story. What a shame.
And there's a story here that says Obi hints at recontesting in 2027, canvasses rational 5-year single term for president. Daddy Chris, do you think that 2027 it may seem far, but it's still around the corner? Do you think that we're going to see changes? Because talking about the weight the Labour Party did pull during the presidential election, even though after the election we've been seeing that they are now, dragging foot back and forth. They are no longer the movement we used to see, where people were actually expecting that they would keep on hitting the ground. Do you think that there should be hope, or we should be expecting something
I'll take this as a wake up. I'm happy to see Obi back on the campaign trail. I want to call it a campaign trail. And if Obi he can do something. The problem, I'm afraid though, that Baba that was able to ring election, if you don't agree, during with Beavers, when he's outside, now you're going to take power from him. Tinubu go buy everybody. That I know. However, with the momentum we saw with the young people, if Peter maintains it, because he has lost. Peter got Edo State, he lost it during the local government. And I know during the next election, which is going to be next month, next month or so? Yeah, they have election next year in Edo State. If Peter, if they sleep, they're going to lose the state again, because now this is what Obaseki has done. He has handpicked his local government chairman. You understand? These are the local government that will go back. The chairman are the ones that are going to go back and ring the election in their community, because you cannot ring the election at the federal level. It's the people on ground that will ring the election for you. So, to be fair, you don't win election without having supporters. Though they ring for you, but you must have the local support. And meaning you need to plant your people now. How is Peter going to win if he doesn't have local government chairman? If he doesn't have governors? Where is the miracle coming from? It's only the young people that is frustrated. The young people did their best. Had Labour had some little tentacles on ground, they would have easily won the election. Because how are you going to ring the election when the governor is I'm a governor. You're coming to ring the election in my state. You go see try small. You can't even ring the election in my village if my people, if the big boys don't agree. I can tell you. You know what happened? For election to be divided in my village, the two boys, the big boys they were divided. So we had two guys, you understand? There was APC and PDP. In my village, though, I'm telling you, my own village. Meaning, they ran the election, but the election went two ways because it was divided. The big boys were divided. So if Peter wants to win, or if there's going to be a change, they have to start it now by planting, by working. Now we have a governorship election. I wanted Peter to actually be there. You know, this one state he could have won. Imo State belongs to Peter. And Peter has done it. You understand? It's a shame that I can't even see the what Labour is doing in Imo State. I know they got beaten up. You understand? But that's maybe would have used that to win the election as well.
But sir, we've seen that Peter and the Labour movement as a whole, it's as if though they are sleeping. Since after that election, they have gone into hiding.
Yes.
Do you think somebody can win election with that energy? Is it not something
is it not the young people that made Peter to get to where he was?
And because maybe Peter is not even forthcoming after that election.
I think this is where the Labour Party. Peter is a single person. You understand? The Labour Party, instead of playing the kind of game they've been playing, looking for how cheap money, and that kind of cheap negotiation, they should be thinking of how to get power now. You understand? And they did well though in Imo. Maybe they did it the wrong way. But winning an election is about ideology. Because that's what the young people did. They saw the ideology of a change. They want the good governance. Labour could have intentionally, if I were Labour boss, I wouldn't be going there. I'll be using young people. They are the people that did the magic for us. Where are they? It's not Labour that did the magic. Going there to go and make noise, it's not going to help. Getting the young people in Imo State to be on the move now. Now, Igbo man, it's time for Peter to be planting the seed that if they don't win the state now, there's no way Peter will be president. That will be the language we'll be speaking. And you see the young people in Imo State coming out to vote en masse for the Labour candidate. And you have to pick on the right candidate as well. Because what happened last time, the candidate for most of these governors, when Labour were unprepared, very unprepared candidates. And you can't sell such candidates. You cannot. So maybe it is time to pick the right candidate and because the candidate, Peter.
But funny enough, let's look at Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa as a case study.
Mm-hmm.
We have been seeing more of APC and PDP candidates.
That's it.
What about Labour?
And we are talking of South here now. In fact, that's why I said I went straight. The battleground of Peter Obi. He's an Igbo man. It's annoying today that, look, in those days, Isaac Way will never lose any state in the East. Awolowo will never lose any state in the West. You understand? That was how the votes were always being divided. But today, look at Peter running. And the East is divided. Why, Kenneth?
That increase, in fact, I like the fact you made a statement that in fact has settled everything. Labour Party is the most unprepared party in Nigerian political space. The most unprepared. First of all, you have a P2B. Kudos to the man, good man, great man, wonderful person. I have nothing against him. Very good person. But a very, very, very poor politician. You don't win politics on ideology. You win politics by playing politics. The man is nowhere to be found when it comes to the political, space in Nigeria. Now let's move away from that. You have a party man that was once in ABGA and then moved to PDP to become a vice president aspirant to Atiku, and then even attended Atiku Abubakar's inaugural declaration of intent rather, and then run to Labour Party and you start up another movement there. If Peter Obi and Labour Party has ever done anything, it is the fact that they are, in fact, brothers in arms, in struggle, in belief to our great party, the APC. Because what they only did was to make sure that PDP lost the election. And the moment they ensure that PDP lost the election, you see them. They're nowhere to be found again. I say this because, one, even the Labour Party, only governor in the Labour Party was 2 weeks before the Labour Party convention in the APC. So I want you to begin to understand the way these guys move. Don't be surprised, sir. In time to come, you might see a P2B, just like Goodluck Jonathan did, pick a presidential ticket in the APC. These are people of course, Jonathan picked the presidential ticket in APC.
Yes,
only when he saw he was not going to be a consensus candidate. He didn't attend whatever. So what I'm saying is this, like you said, if P2B is very, very, very serious about becoming the president of Nigeria, he should start now to build his political structure. Yes, he might have lost the election. People lose elections. Even the Muhammad Buhari lost election about 2 times before he won. So losing election is not the end of a life. It does not mean that you can no longer get it again. But I was expecting him to start building. Do you know that of all the projects I've seen commissioned in Abia State by the Labour Party governor, I've never seen P2B attend any function in Abia State under the Labour Party. It's on record. Even the inauguration of the Labour Party governor, he did not attend. So I don't understand his political, lifestyle. But I think it's beginning to show what people were saying. He is a man that likes to work with his certain circle, but that is not politics. If you want to win politics, you should start learning from Babao. You need to be so open.
Learning from Babao is okay. But if you say Peter, I agree with your point too. You understand? He should have started building structure. You know, the last time I came on this show, I was saying that Peter can actually begin governance now. You understand? Now, by making impact. You understand? Before the election, you were going around. You're not telling us what you're going to do if you become governor, if you become president. Now that you are not, I'm sure there are 1 or 2 things you can say in flex.
Of course.
That become your campaign slogan. Please, I was able to do that, and you can. Some of them won't even cost you money. I listened to this lady, our our woman is making us proud in America, and former finance minister.
Okonjo.
If you see, he was outlining some of the things we can influence to the southeast. With no money, these companies are there in America looking for home in places like Nigeria. She talks about digital. Talk about this entertainment in digitalized. You understand? And because there is an area where this kind of thing can work. Again, you don't need money to make this happen.
Of course.
Peter has got an influence right now. He's a statesman, you understand? He can come out and influence a lot of things. And so be all the politicians. You know what Atiku has done now? He's gone back to Dubai.
We'll see in 4 years. We'll see in 4 years' time.
How can they win the election if this is what, meaning it is only about the election? It's understanding though. I think Peter wanted to work. I am still a fan of Peter. Unfortunately, I still love Peter. But I wish Peter is actually now working to build. And the one way to build is Peter came out. You know what Peter was doing? He was telling us what he has done. This was a time for him to build on what he has done as a candidate. You know, as a candidate that is now known worldwide. Peter can attract so much investment right now to the southeast, even to anywhere in Nigeria. He went to the north and said he wants to make sure there is education. He can do that now, so that he become known in the north. That he's not the man you think, he's not just only Igbo man is going to come and steal Nigeria, he's going to divide Nigeria, because that's how they think about him there. You understand? This is an opportunity for the man to make impact. In fact, his biggest trouble is the north. He should be there now. You understand? Making impact. He can't do this without spending a penny. And in fact, the government would be scared of Peter, not cheap criticism.
You know, if Peter had continued with what we saw, that energy,
yes,
things I feel next election would have.
But it's not too late. Though.
No, it's not too late.
You can see. I think you can see.
No, it's too late, sir. It's too late.
It's not late. It's not late. I know. Can I want it to be too late? Can I quit is too late? No, can I quit is too late?
No, it's too late.
You said the president
now.
No, it's too late. Sir, it's too late. Even 2027, it will be too late. You know, I like looking politics from the angle of what it is in Nigeria. We have a rotational system of governance, between the north, the south. Are you going to tell me that Peter Obi is going to win Tinubu at the next election? Because if he cannot do that, then it's obvious that the next election will be zoned, of course, to the north. You understand? After these 4 years, the next 4 years, Tinubu will definitely want to continue if God, permits, of course.
Yes, that's the thing. He can defeat Tinubu because the truth is he had everything to defeat Tinubu. I don't think Tinubu have the biggest. You know the luck you guys have. Tinubu is there now because of labor, and because of the what I call they call it a smart man. This other Baba Atiku. Atiku was really careless because if I was going to be president of Nigeria and I have PDP, I won't let Peter leave the party. I won't allow this other man to leave. You understand? With those two people, they would have been in power now. Do you understand? So, and again, maybe it's good for Nigeria because they would have not. That would have been the end of that country. We'll be ending for the fall. You understand? So, yeah. So what I'm saying is, your guy is dead because there's a division between Labour and the PDP. Why don't they come together now?
Because they are selfish. They can't come
you
together.
Understand? If Atiku would have done something.
A president. Atiku wants to be. Atiku already said it that. Atiku made that statement last week that he's not running away. He's going as long as he breathes. Yes. As a human being.
Don't worry. God is the one that takes their breaths. Don't worry. God takes it.
And then Atiku already is saying that that shows somebody for me, somebody that is even desperate to be in power. And then we're not seeing Obi as well. We're seeing other people. And we know that other people also come out to even challenge them, like PDP exactly. And that of Obi as well, maybe Labour Party, because they feel like, okay, you lost and we're not seeing any, energy from you. And, they will be divided as usual. These are some of the issues. Now, if Peter has stayed maybe with Atiku at PDP at that time, and then Wiki also was there trying to contest. We saw all of them, and that was where we saw the division. So what are you expecting? I was still seeing that tomorrow because they are selfish. If you ask me, they are not actually coming out to say, okay, the interest of the people, but it's for personal gains.
Thank you, Princess. Thank you. Thank you.
You know what politics is all about? They've had to win the election first. No, I don't. You see, the truth is, I'm saying to you, Kenneth, Baba is sitting on it. He's set. He never settled. Maybe he will settle it after 2 years. You understand? Baba can easily be moved. Yes, it can easily be moved because if PDP and Labour now come together and say, okay, son, the person to make the compromise will be Atiku. You understand? So you go do only 4 years. All right.
And do you think Nigerians will applaud them and vote for them, sir?
Yes.
Why would they come out with that kind of arrangement and Nigerians will key into it?
No. You see, you don't key into it. You understand? By the time someone like Atiku now say this is what PDP did, the APC did, they combined the whole party to defeat PDP. That's what they did.
No, sir. You think that PDP and Labour will now join forces together?
Yes,
as what? As LP or as PDP?
As LP. This is
no, and then Nigerians will be watching them and will be clapping. Okay, we're voting for them. These people
the only person that has the power to unite political classes.
Why would you want to gang up just to remove APC, even though I don't like APC at all, just to prove a point?
That's what APC did. That's what APC did. APC merged a lot of political parties to fight PDP and they won. So what are we talking about?
No, sir. This is the point. If Peter Obi had, came out from LP previously, and then had this massive structure, and then he's now going back to PDP.
No, it's not going to go back.
Okay, Atiku will not come.
The way they will align it, you understand? And it's only picking candidates. You understand? It's picking the right candidate. You know, if Peter was not a candidate, there was no Labour Party in Nigeria. So it's again now Peter being very clever. What Peter cannot do. Somebody Peter picked Kwakwasu. You understand? It's somebody that is in the north that has a lot of following. You understand? Because his biggest trouble is the north. Nigerians, unfortunately, Princess, we live in a country where we think awareness is there. It's not the awareness in the south. It's not so in the north. Too. You understand? They see Peter as an alien. They don't even know him there. You understand? But by the time he aligned with somebody they know, an old politician, somebody, you understand, that would have strengthened the structure of the Labour Party. And it starts now. Not during the election, we'll begin to look for the candidate. You see, Buhari was able to, you know what Buhari did? Buhari came out, a very likable guy in the north, and they now know Buhari is not going to win this election. There's a sitting president. They now went and take the whole of the west. And Buhari won. There was no way Buhari will never win the east. Now Peter had the east already. All right, Peter can intelligently win the west. Intelligently. Because that is the west are more educated in Nigeria. So his problem really is the north. If he can pick a strong candidate there and the campaign starts now with doing the right thing now, you'll be surprised that everyone will shout Peter.
But even the previous candidate was from there, maybe not too strong.
Not too strong. That's the truth. It's a good guy.
Does not exist. Does not exist.
And no, he doesn't exist. That's the
truth.
It
doesn't exist in politics of the north.
Giving Peter 1 million vote in Kano.
And what happened between Kwankwaso and Peter Obi?
I think Kwankwaso said Peter should be his
and this is
a game of ego.
To that
princess, he said our place who they sell fresh fish. Anything you tell I know they go to hear until the fish is getting rotten. You understand? So that is it. Now they know that their thing is getting rotten. They will listen now. Baba is there already.
Because if imagine somebody like Kwankwaso and Peter Obi were actually vying for the position there and came out hand in hand.
Yes.
It would have been another story, maybe.
Yes. It would have been a stronger thing.
And then or maybe we had Peter Obi and Atiku. It would have been stronger as well. But we are seeing that they are divided, they are cross-carpeting for no reason, just to get to that seat. And Nigerians are not foolish people as well.
The truth is, intellectually, the intellectuals in Nigeria voted Peter Obi. Let's be sincere. You understand? The educated people voted Peter Obi. What Peter didn't have were the normal, the political structure and the people, the followings. You understand? And then he would have gotten
funny enough, I'm not really a political analyst, but we've seen so far that being in position of power or a seat is not by your educational qualification. We've seen that.
We are the one voting.
Yes.
The voting people that voted, if you look at the demographic or that voted for Peter, you don't need a rocket scientist to say that it is the educated Nigerians.
Those elites.
The elites. What are we talking about?
Those elites, I don't think they can decide for the whole of Nigeria. Funny enough, the common man, the ordinary ones that even go to school at way.
See what I'm saying now. So that's what I said. If Peter want to win, he already have us. If I tell you, if you see the number of people calling me from US every day, you understand? They see campaigning for Peter till tomorrow, very angry. You understand? The people here in this country, nobody will vote Atiku or Tinubu.
I think
those of us in the diaspora, let's be sincere.
I think Labour has a lot to do. They should put their house in order.
Forget Labour. If we're not thinking of Labour, Labour is not the party. The person we're talking of is Peter. Peter has a structure. Peter is a structure. You understand?
Peter Obi needs to change his PR. We don't even talk about that. For the first time, we saw someone campaigning in churches in Nigeria. I'm a Christian, but that is why he lost in the north.
But you guys came up with Muslim ticket.
Listen, but of course, that was why he lost. Tinubu
was able to say Muslim ticket. It works.
What's wrong with campaigning in the church?
No. That is how you lose.
I don't agree with church.
So we should neglect the church.
No, that is why you don't. If you know politics,
you can go to the mosque too. Did he not go to the mosque?
But he actually did. Yes, he did.
What are you talking about? We are trying to do a show here. Where Kenneth? We do a show here for Muslims.
Listen, as long as evangelicals were standing on the pulpit to campaign for Peter, I have no problem with that. But that is why he will not penetrate the corners. Because no matter how you want to look at it, Nigeria is very, very, very religious. We're religiously sentimental.
This is what I'm saying. Can I listen? Had he been his next candidate, someone like Kwakwasu, who is a core Muslim, you see, he now goes with Kwakwasu. This is what I'm saying. It's about the strategy. You understand? You cannot pick a weak candidate to support Peter. There was no way they're going to win. They are good guys. You understand? Good is not going to win election. Strategy to win election.
I was even expecting Peter Obi to have picked a Sanusi. Lamido Sanusi, with the issues he had with the APC government, and Peter Obi picked him to be his running mate.
Sanusi is another intellectual. He's another intellectual. He won't win election. And no, Sanusi will not win election.
You're talking about a former emir in the north.
Yes. That is my political gladiator.
Exactly.
That he should we don't win election by just being intelligent.
Exactly.
You need to be grounded in politics.
Yes. The right candidate would have been Kwakwasu. Kwakwasu would have won 1 million votes in Kano easily.
But of
course, you have the people.
You see, and thank God that state is in opposition. They want to hold Kano. You hold some few other, you won. You understand? And then you have the whole of this. Trust me, Peter won Lagos. That will tell you that the average Yoruba man, once you speak right things to them, they understand you. Sure. You can't do that in the north. You get a Kwakwasu to win the vote in the north. Come to my village. Peter was not there. He won. You understand? These are places you can penetrate. You can't penetrate the north like that. So you give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
Exactly.
Anyway, we move on quickly with the reviews, and I will go quickly to the Nigerian Tribune. These are some of the stories we have coming from the Tribune, and we have here Gubapo, 40,000 police personnel for Kogi. IGP reads riot act to perpetrators of violence visit Bayelsa. We are 90% prepared. And now this is coming from INEC. Redeploy Imo Rec PDP urges. All these stories are on page 16 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says court finds NYSC 5 million naira, confirms Umba's NYSC certificate authentic. And that story is on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. We have a story here that says, Oyo workers get 25,000 naira wage award for 6 months. That story is on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here that says appeal court reserves judgment in Kanu Guba election on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here as well that says that ports and harbors bill will promote casualization maritime workers on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says release or produce a Mefele November 8th, court orders EFCC. And that story is on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's a story here that says Obi carpet Supreme Court, INEC over 2023 election presidency, APC kick on page 15 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. These are some of the stories we can take from the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Of course, we've seen some others, some here in the previous papers. And Kenneth, we know that during the presidential election, that's why I actually wanted to bring both some party members here and INEC people here, which I'm still going to do that on my show. We know that during the presidential election, we had the same statement from INEC that says we are 95, we are 99, we're 100% prepared. And now we're hearing the same again. Regardless of that statement, the last time we saw their flaws, we saw that although nothing could actually come at 100%, but we saw what happened that immediately most of these beavers started malfunctioning. Some did not work. I went to a lot of the polling units. A lot of them did not work. Now, with this statement from INEC, do you think that we should be hopeful that on Saturday we are going to be seeing, everything working well as planned?
Well, INEC has released their statement. They say they are 90% prepared. But if I want to ask a very, very tough question is, you are prepared with equipment from where? Why do we keep importing beavers to use in an election to determine people who will lead us in Nigeria? I don't have a problem with the beavers, but I have a problem with the way it always turns out during elections. Of course, we know that the APC will win. And these are things that they do, and then things will happen and they start discrediting the electoral process. So for me, they are prepared with what? With beavers that had failed before? Is that the way to go? Do we need to rejig the electoral process? That Chris says something, and for the first time he said this since a week plus, I've been even saying it to a lot of people within the party. I said, why can't we even stop all this beavers say, beavers did not say? Let us vote directly with the ATM. We have in Nigeria built apps, OPay, Kuda, the rest of them. They are working seamlessly. We don't even have issues where people say the transaction is not going. Whatever is the problem is always resolved. Why is that when it gets to electoral technology, we run to the West? Have you forgotten that if there is anybody that needs Nigeria not to have a proper electoral process, it's the West? Because they are the ones that reap from everything that is not working in Nigeria. So I am not against the election or against INEC, but what I'm saying is 90% preparation for me. Kudos to them. It's an official statement. There's nothing we can do about it. This is them saying they are ready for the election. The Electoral Act permits them to do the election in most ways that is okay to them, and then give us a result. We must all accept the result that comes out. Of course, we know that our biggest party will win. But what I'm saying is this: we have to change the process of our elections, or else this 90%, 100%, whatever percent will not satisfy the urge of the average Nigerian. If not, then we'll keep seeing after the election, people will still run and go to court because they feel like they were cheated out of the election, even when it is obvious that our party had won free and fair.
Your party again.
Our party.
Kenneth, Mary, one day you give that boy injection. That's what we do to this kind of person. Give him injection so he can sleep. Sleep more.
Anyway, there's nobody that is expected to come in the open to say my mother's food is not sweet or will not be sweet. So
I think this one is too much.
We understand it's your party and you're owning it with full chest. And there are a lot of story here, but I'm going to throw light on some of these stories at the end of the show. So we'll move on quickly to the Daily Trust newspaper. And this is some of the stories we have. Mary will be taking that paper.
Okay, here the big headline says Israel kills 10,022 Palestinians in 4 weeks. And here another writer says one child killed every 10 minutes. And here there's a story that says Gaza becoming graveyard for children. UN Secretary General. 8 countries cut ties with Israel over Gaza genocide. Now you can find all the stories on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And here another headline says terrorists killed many in Castina, Borno. You can find that story on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Supreme Court verdict revolution postponed, says Obi. You can find that story on page 12. And here there's another story that says start preparing for 2027 presidency. All that story you can find there on page 12 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And here another story says condolences as Shekai Yusuf Ali buried in Kano. You can find that story on page 32 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Bayelsa governorship cracks widen in PDP, APC as heavyweight shun rallies. You can find that story on page 12 of the Daily Trust newspaper. I think these are all the stories we have this morning on the Daily Trust newspaper.
It's quite sad in Gaza. We've seen so many killings. We just hope that they will cease fire really soon because children are involved, and it's really sad. As one child is killed every 10 minutes. We know that children are vulnerable, people, women are vulnerable. Even at this point, I think everybody there is vulnerable. So I hope that they cease fire really quick. And there's a story here as well that says, I know we've seen that story before. Court verdicts, revolution postponed will be. Well, we are still keeping our fingers crossed to see what happened. Moving forward, we want to see Obi's energy. That will determine whether we're going to make headways in the next election. It's not about saying, but what he can do to prove to the people that I am still here, I'm still relevant, and I can still do what I said before, or I'm even doing it without being the president.
That being said, let's still encourage him. Let's encourage the opposition because opposition is the bedrock of democracy. Right?
Sure.
When you are in power, nobody is there kicking your ass. You think you're doing the right thing, or you begin to praise yourself. But now, at least Tinubu government knows, hey, there are guys knocking on the door. If I misbehave there, that helps us as a people. I always say when these guys are fighting, it's in the interest of the common man. You understand? So we need Peter to do what he does best. We want Atiko to come and say what he thinks is wrong with this government. Not only the political side of it alone, the economy. You understand? They should be talking about the economy. Peter should come and talk about the Nigerian economy, which is the reason why people like us were listening to him. You understand? Now tell us what is wrong with the economy, what they should be doing. You understand? And so we know that you are the better alternative. Nobody is an alternative because it's an Igbo man or because it's Yoruba man, because it's an Hausa man. You're an alternative because you can save the people who are hungry. So let your campaign, let your criticism be from that point of view, and we'll be happy. See, now I'm really tired. I said to them, I'm tired of this election thing now. It's time for governance. Peter is a relevant person in Nigeria today. Atiko is Baba. They should come and help to put fire on Baba Tinubu so that Nigerians will get the dividends of democracy, as you guys like to call it.
That would be a good thing to do. So we'll move on to the last newspaper, and that would be the Vanguard newspaper. We have here the headline says presidential poll, presidency APC attack Obi over stance on Supreme Court verdict. And that story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, we'll have a story here that says George reinstates order for unconditional release of ex-CBN governor Emefiele on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. There's a story here that says Matawale didn't patronize bandits. That is coming from Media Aid on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. A sad story here coming says a Nollywood actor, Mr. Ibis' leg amputated and that story is on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. As well, so a story here that says suspended Adamawa Reg on the run. Now that is coming from INEC. And these are some of the stories we'll be able to take from the Vanguard. We've seen a lot of these other stories before from the previous papers. Now, there's we also Mr. Ibu. We got that news yesterday, and social media has been a go. But the doctor says that's the only way they can keep him alive, and so we also, we console people are not consoling themselves knowing the fact that if that's the only way he can stay alive, then he should stay alive with one leg. He will still be funny, they will still love him. I saw some of the comments and people say we love you regardless. You are still the Mr. Ibu, nothing has changed. And we wish him a very quick recovery.
You can trust him. He's going to make so much fun
Yes.
of the leg.
And that's what people were saying yesterday.
He's going to make serious comedy of the leg. You understand? You see, when a comedian is always a comedian.
Yes, that's what
It's a
people were
pity.
saying, that we know that you're going to still be happy with the one leg. You're
Yes.
still Mr. Ibu. We know
Yes.
that nothing will change.
Yeah.
You still be that happy Mr. Ibu. I really do hope that, I know how it feels when something like that happens, but it's even better for him to stay alive. And kudos, thanks to Nigerians as well, who actually made contributions for him.
Can I chip in a thought on this actually?
Yes.
You see, so sorry for Mr. Ibu and what he's going through, but I think this is a time for Nigerians to also learn about the impact of diabetes in the Nigerian society.
Mm.
I lost my mom to that, and I can tell you almost the same similar, scenario. The only reason Mr. Ibu might be living now is because they've been able to gather some good amount of money, probably getting treatment outside of Nigeria. If you check, you could see that the surgery was not done within the country. If it's done, probably some expert had to come into Nigeria to handle that.
And that was after I think 5 to 7 surgeries before they even amputated the leg.
You understand? And nobody is talking about the effect of diabetes and the dumping of, like Chris will call it, waste sugar by Dangote into Nigeria. Nigerians are consuming some of the worst sugar that any human being should eat on earth. Artificially processed. In fact, it's more like sludge that they're sending from Asia to us, and then it's almost in everything we cook, from the noodles to our spices to our even the drinks. Everything is so filled up of this sugar, and Nigerians get to consume it, and nobody's talking about the effect it's having on Nigeria. I say this because most times it's only when it happens to a celebrity that we understand. If you visit most of the hospitals in Nigeria, you will see people with diabetic legs that need amputation, that need care, that need insulin to even control the sugar level, and nobody's saying anything about it. And we keep having these kind of cases that nobody hears about because they don't have the publicity, they don't have the reach, they don't have people. Like I said, I lost my mother to diabetes, and it was just the similar thing. The leg was rotting into an extent where even the hospitals are scared of handling cases like that because they don't even have specialists, they don't even have equipment that can do this. So I think this is a time for our people to start shedding light on diabetes. If nothing else, at least the ways it could be prevented. Probably our eating culture, the things we consume, the sugars we swallow, the annoying minerals.
No, funny enough, a lot of people are aware that I've seen people who are aware that this is sugar I'm consuming. This is not good for your health. People feel that when you're young, right? Okay, I'm young, nothing will happen. But that is not it, right? We have seen, and these days I've seen, I do health shows, so these are some of the issues we talk on. I've seen people, there's this thing that is related to sugar, to BP, to a lot of. I think they are related. And now, when you tell young people, because the rate, like you said, the rate at which young people are not even having this diabetes, BP issues, it's alarming in the society. It's no longer for the old. Before those days, it used to be for the elderly people, but now we see that people, even children. I've seen a child of. It's even my doctor in Abuja. The daughter was she was I think then last year she was 13, and then she was having serious diabetes and BP issues. She couldn't breathe, and they had to refer her to surgeries here and there. Like, you are a doctor, how did it get to this? That the mother would not listen to me because the man is far away from them. And then these are some of the issues. I think you, like you said it all, eating habits. I did bring a dietitian on my show as well that actually told us what to eat, what not to eat, and some of these things we eat, we think, okay, this one is even low sugar. It's the same thing. So is the eating habits now that we need to really focus on, since we cannot actually do away from, look at it from what you said, the alcohol, the noodles, the sugar, most of the things we eat are actually, you have a lot of sugar in there. So what can we do is to control our eating habit. And once in a while, I think another thing Nigerian lacks is that nobody does body check. Do you know, I had an optician on my show of last Thursday, and I was thrilled that you're supposed to go for your eye check, whether or not you're wearing glasses or you have eye issues, once in a year. And I know a lot of people also do not know that you're supposed to see your dentist once in 6 months to have a mouthwash, to have a check, just because of in case of anything that is not right. But I want to believe that Nigerians will always say, "Yeah, beg, I'm fine." Okay, I had a Chansinoji on my show on Thursday, and he said, because I brought about this issue as well, what is the welfare package? We were seeing, I didn't want to even just call Mr. Ibu's name, but of course he's a smart guy, and he said that Nigerians are still, until we move from that place, people do not believe that in the future you could have this. And so when you try to make a plan for it now, they'll tell you it's not my portion. I will not have that in the future. That until we move from that not my portion, place to start to believe that anything might just go wrong in my future. Okay, let me start to make effort now, or to do the right thing before people can actually live well. And I understand you.
No, I'm going to say this is very important. You see, I call it toffee ideology. You guys have been listening to when I use the word toffee ideology, sugar, sugar. They give you sugar instead of giving you bitter leaf. And that's what I talk about the political scene, exactly. You know, the funniest, the painful thing is the food we have in Nigeria is actually called organic food in the UK.
Thank you.
And it's so expensive. You know, if you go to the shop here, what they sell for you in the UK, there are two kinds of food. You don't get organic food in the shop. So the kind of land we have, if we plant our yam naturally and bring it out, not with fertilizer, all this chemical, that is the organic food they are talking about. It takes time to grow. In those days, I don't know whether I grew up, this catfish. If they bring catfish from the stream, you eat it, I beg. You understand? And again, there's difference between fowl and chicken. When I go home, I say, I beg, what I do for fowl for me. I don't want chicken. You understand? Because I was in Nigeria, somebody want to go and cook chicken, and I'm thinking these people are sick. Please look for fowl. No matter how you understand. The truth is, you young people, listen very now. You want to go out with your guy, they take you to eatery. Eatery where you eat chemicals. And I said to them, can you guys give me some pepper soup? With there's a place that is chemical that goes the things we use to cook the pepper soup. That thing goes in
and the bitter one.
Yeah. You said no, say the disease they disappear. So I think my friend of mine now doing a film they're doing a festival. He said decolonizing the African mind through films. Understand? We need to decolonize our mind with the food. You understand? Because the current trend, look at how we are dressed today, all of you, foreign. All these things need to change. You embrace the other person's culture, but keep the good thing in your own. The problem we have in Nigeria is we throw away our good things. If you do it, they say you are barbaric. You understand? How can you live a good food and poison yourself? That is the thing Nigerians should be asking themselves.
That far we are talking about, the lab is always small. It does not have much.
You don't like the small lab, you see. The other one, I said the other day, in fact, I was looking at chicken, is growing. Because if a chicken can grow in 2 months and you are eating it, you know you are eating something, not chicken.
You're eating chemicals.
The same with the fruits. Some of them, they plant so much chemical, so much fertilizer, the thing will just grow in a day. That cannot be good food, man. So in those days, I still really wish we can go back because we are so blessed with it. It's still within us. That we can, in the UK itself, you know what they do? They encourage us to plant tomatoes that you use at home. You understand? You have your small garden. And the government encourage you to actually plant your garden. So you can have some free fresh food, not the chemical they sell for you in the shop. But how can you people in Nigeria, with all the vast land, not actually plant tomatoes for yourself? And you wait for Dangote to bring sugar. And many want to go with a boyfriend to eatery.
So it's once in a while, though. It's not always.
In Jesus' name. May God help us.
And we've seen that the young people too, I think they have a lot to learn, like Kenneth is saying. These days you hardly see somebody naturally, because my mother also is struggling with that. Most time I'll see her boiling maybe set leaf and bitter leaf. She'll drink early in the morning. I'll wash out every sugar. And so the first time I saw her, I tasted her like, this is not nice. But on the long run, I started drinking that once in a while. Even when I was, I think I did that last month when I went to the market. Vegetables here are very expensive, but I bought some and I had to make it per boy. I drank for how many days? That would have cleared off every sugar to an extent. And then maybe next month she redo, and that is how to.
Princess, the right thing to do is to actually stop eating the chemicals.
But can you stop salted
You can. You can. By actually the selected ones. Noodles is chemical.
Okay, now sir, I'm coming. You have noodles, right?
Yes,
we
yes.
have rice.
Yes.
The rice that was saying that we know that even rice, there's sugar in rice.
No, but there's a way to cook rice. It's you're the one that do it. There's a way you cook the rice. You are trying to get 90% of the sugar.
Even at that, sir, there will still be this.
I know, yes,
sugar. Even
we're not saying sugar is good for the system.
It's good for the system, but instead of it is bad. Don't forget also that we drink tea here. We drink milk, we drink a lot of things. Sometimes your ass, you need to.
Princess came to UK. You know what she's drinking? She's still drinking the same milk that your canned milk from Nigeria. That's what this woman is drinking.
Canned milk is not bad.
Fresh milk, you understand? Fresh milk. We have fresh milk in the UK. She don't get that. You understand?
No, sir. I think I've started. I'm not used to the fresh milk. And
you see the difference.
All of a sudden, I can't even get myself to drink the normal milk.
Which was before.
Yes, it was tasteless.
Yeah, exactly.
Even my girlfriend was asking me 2 days ago that I heard that when people go to UK, they drink the fresh milk and their body is so fresh. I said yes, but he now said, but is it very sweet? I said it's tasteless. She was like, I won't drink it. I'll come with my milk. I said,
that's why you see the sugar problem now.
The sugar is there. It's the sugar.
In that
milk, you will not touch it.
So these are some of the issues. And I've been finding a way to actually use it. Last night you asked me to do tea for somebody. I had to use part of it, so that I'm just finding a way to finish it. Because and funny enough, it's very expensive here. Yes. The other fresh milk is so cheap that every other person can buy. Because
the government don't even want you to even touch it. You see, if you buy those things, the one you buy it from this they call it they call it exotic market. It's a different. It's coming from outside the country. They won't make that thing in this country. You see, because these are things like Kenneth rightly said. Maybe government is time for government to raise that heavy sensitization.
Kenneth, I think there is no. These institutions are not working. It's only Nigeria. You see somebody selling a product for years, and you get to find out it's not registered by NAFDAC. It is not registered anywhere. They have been selling for years. So this is some of the issues. I mean, and that is why we're calling, using Mr. Ibu's case, calling on every Nigerian to make sure that they take care of their health. Make your health your personal priority, not somebody telling you. Well, if you see the way I treat rice before eating, you will be shocked. I don't allow another person to cook rice for me, because I know very well that I have a mother that is actually battling with that, and that is not something I want to get into in the future.
So you're going to start it now.
Yes.
The funny thing is, when you get to our age, it's no more possible because it has settled the system. You know, before Ken, if you come to this studio, everybody know me with Pepsi. You understand? You know, I buy
biscuits as well.
Oh my God, you saw them. When Princess came, they saw the bottle of biscuit. I wasn't cooking anyway. That's my fault. But the biscuit was actually better than the Pepsi. It was at the point that I couldn't even drink water. You understand? And I'm dealing with it now. You understand?
You know, a lot of Nigerian youth, they are addicted to Coke, to Fanta, to Pepsi, and this is something that they do on daily basis.
Why is the government not even banning it? The way they're able to
ban cigarettes. If I tell you that for the past 5 how many years, hardly, ask Mary, I can only drink malt if I'm really down and weak to get sugar. But Yes, I go to the office with fruit juice, blended fruit juice made by myself. I go to the
Princess, you know
office.
how cheap it is in
Yes,
Nigeria.
very cheap. It's even more preferable.
And
So
fruit is everywhere.
sometimes I drive to
Everywhere. So affordable.
Kebbi, Nasarawa to get my truck filled up with fruits. I make like 40, 50 bottles. It's better. It was just yesterday here, somebody got me food and there was soft drink there. I needed to just take it, which I did not finish actually. I took half of it and I left it. I had to drink water. And for that reason, I'm still going to take bitter leaf again to flush everything out. So I think Nigerians is a cut time for us to actually. I'm actually happy that we discussed on this. This is one issue that needed to be actually talked on. I think Nigeria and the youth should do more. There's a way you can, like Kenneth said, awareness as well. Just that we are a stubborn people, a stubborn generation as well. You will see Nigerians, they are eating noodles, they are drinking one big Pepsi of Coke, and they are eating this. And after that, the next thing they open sweets. I feel like it's
Princess,
you.
the only reason you guys are still alive is the sun. Oh. Because the sun is like the sun is taking out
Yes,
this sugar
a
out of the
lot of-
system. If it's here, you guys would have been
No,
obesity alone.
I watched the news here, and I was watching that news so with all my interest because they were doing is a special report on canned food, and they said the rate of diabetes today and sugar was seen is from most of this canned food we're eating.
Thank you.
And they were not saying making UK as a case study that should they ban a lot of them. Analysts were not saying that a lot of people that they they have to sample people's opinion and they say, but a lot of people are working. They don't have time to make fresh food, so they deal solely on
This
canned
canned
food. They just come, they open and they eat. And I don't know. That Chris went out the other time. He bought us porridge can. We opened and like, okay, it's sweet. And since that day, I actually, because of that news, the thing is still there in the fridge. I
It's
don't
there.
think I want to go back to it.
Good.
And most of the canned food, I try my best to stay away because this is a special report that was made. Doctors, people actually came out to speak that it is unhealthy for people to keep living like that. You need to start cooking your fresh vegetables, fresh food, and anything you eat, make sure there is a little bit of fresh veggies there to help your health. These are some of the issues people do not actually rely on. We see in Nigeria people eating yam, rice, and noodles, 3 square meal, and all sugar daily. And they are telling you, no, it's not the same. And you see people eating eba, noodles, and rice, it's not the same.
But Princess, actually, those who are hungry, if they eat that, they will be healthier. You understand? Because they're eating it because they are hungry. You understand? But yes, you know this is why
No,
I say that.
sometimes I said even the
Yeah.
dietitian I brought said that you are even if you choose to eat eba 3 times a day, make sure that there is fresh vegetables.
Thank you.
Make sure that you have meat. Make sure that you have a little of fish. You know, you have other things to substitute this
To press it down.
to press it down. And these are some of the issues. It's not just eating a particular kind of
Maybe
ve-
it's
ve-
even good to be. I know.
vegetable
Nigerians will not
is
like
cheap
this.
in
Princess,
Nigeria.
you will not like this, but maybe it's even good to be poor sometimes. That you don't have enough to eat, that you don't have. Pressing yourself.
Even the poor people are still suffering. Like Kenneth.
It's the poor people.
There are some people
It's
that
the poor people that don't even have options.
yes.
You see someone
People
eating
that
and bread with mineral.
affected. You're saying that it's the poor people that are suffering it. If you go to hospitals, if you go to
Have you been so poor that though you can be that you now have to eat indomie with bread and mineral so that the thing will go and tight your stomach very well. So
To hold the place.
Indomie with bread and mineral so that people are filled up. You see, for me, Princess,
But why no water? But why no water?
that is what we're saying, sir, because they feel that will hold them
No, but if you don't-
for a long time.
Pepsi, they drink with me. No,
No,
water will hold him up.
Coke and Pepsi have a way of combined with bread of tightening your stomach.
Really.
And that is why if you see
Bloat your
laborers in
stomach.
Nigeria, all these bricklayer, that is what they eat
But
on
those
daily
people need
basis.
sugar. They need sugar.
But
They
it's
need
true.
sugar.
It's enough for them. You see them with a loaf of bread and that big Pepsi
Right.
on
But
daily
those people
basis,
need-
and
those
they
people
tell
need
you that
sugar.
is like 6 for them.
Yeah, but they need sugar. Those people need sugar.
But
I
but,
think
but it's not
boils down to
every
exercise.
day.
No, Princess, and
Hey, another thing is exercise,
Thank you.
Kenneth.
Thank you.
Another thing is exercise. You know, Coach Poje was on our show the other day. You were here, and he talked about the Nigerians' youth laziness to exercise. It's only a Nigerian youth that will go and register in gym and will still come back in the night and swallow and drink Coke and tell you after I'm paying tomorrow.
Thank God they registered.
And tomorrow I'm going to burn it out. And we now live in a country where people are so. For me, for instance, let me even start. I don't like walking too much, maybe because of my leg issue. I drive so much, and so imagine somebody like me. If I don't try to eat right, I leave my house, is my car to church, and then back to the office, and just like that. And so just imagine if I am not. That is one reason I developed the habit of taking fresh juice made by myself. I could do 100 bottles and keep in all the fridges I have, and then I take those on daily basis, not even every day. And most time I do water, but people do not understand the benefits of this. They tell you, that one has stress. So even my younger sister, she came to my sister, they leave baby girl like, no bother me, give me money to go and buy Lacasera and keep. I will not do. But when she started drinking it with me, she realized that, sister, I beg. And when she kept disturbing me, saying, I want ice cream, I want to go to ShopRite. I did it first time, second time, like, okay. I bought bananas, I bought other stuff, and I make ice cream for her, and she's like, okay, not like Cold Stone, but I can manage. And so I had to start teaching her that you were slim, you're doing model now. I don't want the same problem Mom is having to affect us. So understand that this is for our good. And so I think our parents also, they have a long way to go. This issue of I have this uncle, is late now. You saw that the children, the 4 of them now, my mother just told me some days ago that doctors are complaining that they don't know what to do again. They are not up to 25. Maybe the elders should be like 20. That the rate of diabetes in their body is not something that even an elderly person should have, let alone a child.
Obesity.
Yes, obesity as well. And because when my uncle was alive, he died last year, he couldn't listen. He refused to listen to anybody. The man kept buying ice cream 3 times a day, buying pizza, buying this. Now he's no longer here. And now we are faced with this, the mother and the children. So I think our parents should do more. We, the youth, we should know that this is not like, look at Mr. Ibu. This is a celebrity. And thank God that people actually made contribution. Let's just assume these monies were not made available for even the operation or the invitation. What would have happened?
Dead already.
And so it's not everybody that will have the opportunity to have access to funds for surgery. So I think Nigeria, with the youth, we should do away with. Coca-Cola has destroyed a lot of youth as of today, and drugs as well. So with the youth, we need to start the campaigning. Kenneth, stop drinking Fanta or Coke.
No,
I know you do.
no,
I know you do.
No, personally, for me, I don't even take minerals. But you see, there's another thing. When I was in secondary school, we used to hear that minerals had sugar. I never knew that beer had a worst amount of sugar.
Exactly.
Sugar.
And I would say, I'm taking Legend. Thank God I'm taking Legend, though. There is no sugar. And
Are you sure?
many years, I now discovered that I was even consuming
More
an
sugar.
amount of sugar that even a mineral drinker might not take in a month. So I have to cut off on alcohol a little. Of course, it's a little once in Nigeria, and then cut off on the sugar intake. But I think, like you said, the lifestyle determines what you eat. Do you exercise? I have this young man, I'm not going to call his name now, I know he's watching the show. He stopped going to work with me because I walk a distance, a very long distance, and I stop and I buy pure water and we'll drink. I say, let's walk distance, then let's use that money, buy pure water, take it. Before you get to the office, you feel pressed. Pass it out. That's the sugar you have in your body. He did it with me 2-3 times. He said I'm a very wicked person. He stopped following me to work. You understand? So I said, no, we're gonna walk. Well, I said, we're trekking down to the bridge now. He said, but I said, let's trek. We'll trek. This is money for transport, right? Buy pure water. Take 2. Let me take 2. When you get to the office, you feel pressed. Go and pass it out. That's all the toxic you have in your body.
That's a good one.
You know,
And
so
water is key. You understand?
so we have to change our lifestyle.
Nigerians are not even used to taking water in the morning. And the next thing, they start taking sugary things in the morning. You're supposed to even drink water, to make sure, like Kenneth said, you feel pressed and,
Possibly warm water. Possibly warm water.
Do away with that excess sugar in the body. And we know also that Nigerians, you don't like exercises, you don't like walking, baby, soft to get life. Please, all of us should actually, and that is one thing I love here.
This gym you guys are going in Nigeria.
I love that thing here in the UK that you practically have to walk to the bus stop to get a bus, and when I'm stopped
Princess,
anywhere,
once you get your
I
car,
will
you will
still.
not be working now. Because that's the thing, you understand? So it's still here. You understand?
No,
Once the car comes,
Daddy
you
Chris,
will
it's
not
not every day. For instance, if I'm going to Edmonton Green, I don't think I want to deal with the parking issues there. I'll come
Yeah,
and be
exactly.
paying money for parking when it's somewhere that is.
You can walk-
It's
it's
just that I
walkable
said I
distance.
should take bus. You know, most time I'll walk to the market. When I have too many bags, I cannot take bus, and even from there to the house is another
stress,
journey.
yes.
So I'll still come. So I think we should actually develop the habit of drinking water in the morning, even at night. Drink water, not too late. You know, to flush out the sugar. You know, I have a lot of friends that don't have waters in their house. They have a lot of my girlfriends, a lot of juice, a lot of drinks that they live on daily basis.
imagine?
I'm happy that I've actually inculcated this lifestyle so many years ago, if not so many years ago. I don't drink. I don't even eat out most time. I do my food myself. I prepare my food. I take food to the office. Ask Mary and the rest that used to go to NTA to buy food on daily basis. I don't
Hey,
think
I'm stopped.
and the other day,
And
you
then
people
you
did
can't
that
stop,
for me.
bro.
I couldn't even eat the food, and I felt sick. So
Good.
I think I'm used to cooking my meals myself, treating my water, because health is wealth. Actually, you could have all the money, and then you don't have good health, you will still be useless. And please, I'm actually happy what we talked about this, and thanks to everyone. That would be a good place to wrap up the show. We've talked so much today, so let's wrap up the show. Kenneth and Mary, thanks for being on the show as well. Daddy Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Viewers, just before we go, don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. Go to our Facebook and, of course, our YouTube. Hit on the notification bell and subscribe and invite somebody to the page as well as our X and Instagram. And let's not forget our different packages on SRTV. We have our travel tours to do your bookings and anything you want to do as regarding to travel. We're here for you. We have our rentals as well. All equipment are available for your usage, just as a minimum, as very low. Just go there and put a call across to us, and of course our event coverage, where we cover any kind of events. Just call us and we'll be there. Our magazine as well as 30K, and we will be there to showcase your brand, your face, and your ideas to the world. And don't forget our reality show that is fast approaching. The countdown is already on. The next president and the talent hunt as well. Be part of it. This is a medium for young people to showcase. We'll be talking about politics. Now, if you want to be grounded in politics, you have to start now, so that when you get there, it will be easy for you to assess and, of course, to know your onions when the time comes. We'll see you again on the show, hopefully. But while you are out there, remember that water is good for your health. Drink a lot of water and stay healthy. I'll see you again tomorrow. I remain yours truly, Princess Kese.
Are you a filmmaker in Abuja and its environ? Do you need a place for your music video, or you need a venue for your conference and even an editing suite for your post-production? Look no further. Our beautiful turret in Lokogoma has it all. We have a whole floor that consists of 3-angle lounge, a beautiful dining area, a large kitchen, a conference area that can comfortably accommodate 60 persons, and 5-bedroom adaptable for all kind of shoots. The good news is all is available at affordable price. And you know what? If you are a member of the Association of Movie Producers of Nigeria, you have 20% discount. So what are you waiting for? Hurry and contact us on the numbers on your screen now. Hooray! The next President Show is here again. Are you aged between 18 and 30, smart, bold, and possess exceptional leadership skills? Do you have what it takes to be the next youth governor and future youth president? Then register free now at superiorradioandtelevision.com or call the number on the screen.